We would like to start with a brief about the security threat landscape. How has it evolved over the months?
Well, much of the world we live in is driven by online engagements. There are more transactions happening online. People are collaborating over the internet, and this introduces a very big attack vector. Because of this, what is happening today is most of the people are concerned about protecting their digital assets, protecting their identity, and this is introducing a lot of risk in their environment. As a result, what we have seen is businesses are trying to be a little more proactive in their approach of protecting. They are talking to their employees and making sure the basics, the baseline of the security is taken care. There are 4 categories of attacks primarily that we have seen. We see denial of services, a very common attack vector, man in the middle, phishing and malware. But we also see a lot of attacks happening through emails. Not to forget the attacks which are emanating from social engineering. So this is taking care, the benefit of the current situation, and we see all these different digital channels are being used to propagate such kind of attacks. So as a result, businesses are looking for safer strategies to be online. And if you look at the entire threat landscape over the past few months, you would see cyber breaches and cyber crimes are on a rise exponentially. And businesses are trying to minimize this risk all throughout. So there is a tussle between these 2 verticals.
In today's world, there are a lot of people who are working from home, so they must be facing a lot of security challenges. We would like to know how Cloudbox is equipped to handle those challenges.
Well, that's an interesting thing because work from home was always there. However, the percentage of users sitting from home and working have increased. But what we have seen traditionally is people who are working from home have lacks not the complete skill set to be able to manage their endpoint devices and use it for education, work as well as play. So as a result, they are facing a lot of operational hassles. We talk to customers day in and day out, and they tell us that managing the workforce remotely is also a challenge. They want to make sure proper monitoring tools are also put in place. But what we do interestingly as Cloudbox is our threat hunting proposition to protect the workforce management is really coming to the rescue here. We measure not only the employee productivity, but at the same time we focus on the endpoint protection, the machines, the devices that they are using. This helps us in an overall 360-degree approach, keeping data protection strategy at the center. So whether it is data in motion, data in use, or even data which is being continuously accessed and stored, is all 3 verticals protected.
In terms of ransomware, how has that evolved during this period, and what is Cloudbox doing to help your clients and your partners be safe during this period?
Well, ransomware, as you know, has evolved. It's a known attack vector, and it's been doing a lot of damage to the society overall. But what we have seen interestingly is it's not just the encryption of the data and then taking a ransom from it. It's the data exfiltration and the threat of data being released online to the internet. And that's something which is posing a lot of threat to the companies. The corporate employees are very, very concerned that their identity and their privacy is not compromised just because of this defacement. And as a result, ransomware is also getting involved and getting more complex. There have been some instances where we have seen ransomware using a shared code or a shared infrastructure to make the attack a little more directed. Not just focusing on one machine, but on a set of users' machine in a network. So this makes the attack a little more complex. At CBT, we have learned all of this attack vectors, and we learn every day from the recent attack that's happening. Our continuous solution of managed services helps 24/7/365 monitoring and measuring services. We want to make sure that our managed services offer customers data that is accessible, that is secure, and that is available all the time. Keeping this in mind, all of our services are also making sure that there is a sense of security awareness to the users of the network. And this makes it sure that we have a protection from the users as well as from the devices from these uninvited guests.
So there are a lot of digital security and privacy challenges when it comes to people working from home, from office, on the road, on the go. How are companies overcoming these challenges?
Companies are adopting a multifaceted approach. There is no one solution to such a kind of environment. If you look at it, traditional IT infrastructure was never equipped for such a kind of collaborative environment today. People are doing a lot of things online. They are connecting with customers, they are doing business, and they are getting feedback all the more. What we have seen is that there is a big data sprawl across all these digital channel and devices. This data sprawl invites attacks to happen easily. If it's not today, it will be tomorrow, but that requires a careful consideration overall. We see that companies are using attribute-based access control. This kind of control enables dynamic and effective way of managing the data. Companies are also using identity access and management. These kind of tools helps engage and keeps a proper balance between customer experience as well as the privacy. However, data privacy has become a product. Customers' identities are being sold online, so that's where this request for a centralized identity as a service solution, and cloud is playing a bigger part here. People are looking at centralized authentication, multi-factor authentication, and I see organizations are kind of moving towards that direction.
We, over the past few years, we've been talking about digital transformation as a major initiative. Over the past 1 year, have you seen companies accelerate those initiatives?
Well, yes, definitely. Website automation, WhatsApp business, getting the orders done through online, the e-commerce platform are all different transformation channels where B2B and B2C customers are living today, and it has always been on a rise, especially in the last few months. So companies who have got technology at the center of their strategy, their business planning strategy, have become resilient to such a kind of pandemic. And we increasingly think that these kind of business planning, these kind of customers who have technology centered around would sustain their business. There is an inherent culture of cyber hygiene that can come if the companies have proper technology investment towards digital transformation. Bear in mind, technology, digital transformations, smart initiatives, paperless initiatives are all different ways through which companies can get work done efficiently, but can also become little more compliant to these changing internet laws and data privacy laws.
So according to you, what are the cybersecurity trends for 2021?
Well, among the big trendsetters, everybody is talking about cloud, AI and 5G. I feel all these three technologies are tied up into three specific areas: automation, on-demand services, as well as digital transformation. Now, all these three technologies are very rampant across all the verticals, but if you talk about cybersecurity, there's a different thing happening altogether. Customers from SMB to enterprise are looking at identity-based systems. I see an increasing demand of password management tools. I see an increasing demand of passwordless multi-factor authentication, and this is driving a lot of requirements. Having said that, the demand for security awareness training is also picking up because organizations have increasingly realized the need of training their staff about different type of attack vectors, different type of situations they need to deal if there is an attack, and how to protect their personal information and the corporate information over the internet. But this is the technology side. From an attack side, ransomware is getting much more difficult to manage these days. With the shared code and the shared infrastructure technologies, this is only going to grow more complex. I see a huge demand of IoT-based business, so I see IoT security will also be picking up. And not to mention, the DNS-based attacks are also significantly picking up. So DNS spoofing, DNS flood attacks are also becoming much more rampant. Cloud will be used as a tool moving forward, and this tool will help us provision services better, will help secure organizations at a far efficient pace, especially for a workforce that is working remotely or in hybrid working environments.
Thank you, Rohit, for speaking to Audible Reseller. It was nice having you with us today.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much. And if there are any questions, I would be very happy to entertain them. You can email us on info@cbt.ae or visit our website www.cbt.ae. Thank you.